and represent a restaurant that had. Now Shane is coming in already prepared.
Yes,
Look
sir.
at this.
I'm ready to go.
Oh my God, that looks like a donut to me. Like I'm ready to.
It's a donut waffle.
It's a donut waffle.
Or a waffle nut, as we now have called it as of today.
A waffle what?
A waffle nut. A waffle and a donut.
I love it. Thank you for making the time to come in.
You're welcome.
So Shane and I were connecting back and forth on email because he just did something over the weekend, and unfortunately I was not able to make it. So I wanted to make it up to him and be able to have him come in and talk to all of you about it and educate me even a little bit more on his projects. But the Burgundian, started back in the summer, right? You just launched it in the summer.
Yeah, so I launched the business June 24th this summer, and my launchpad product is the Liège waffle, which, unlike a batter-based waffle, is a dough-based waffle. So it's risen with yeast, more like a brioche dough. It's a 2-day process to make.
Okay, so that's been a massive question out there. So what's Liège? So go ahead.
Yeah, so Liège. So from the town of Liège, Belgium.
Okay.
And really the unique product are these things called pearl sugars. So I get these imported. It's derived from a sugar beet. And what's unique about these is because of that consistency, when they cook on the waffle, they caramelize on the outside of the waffle. So they don't burn, and it gives it this nice, chewy, dense texture to that yeasted risen waffle. And it's just, for me, better than any other waffle I've ever had.
So there's got to be a story, because that's a very unique way of making it. So there's got to be a story behind the Burgundian name and how you got into this.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so you got to tell
Absolutely. So a few stories, how I got into this waffle and loving it. I was in the Army for 10 years, active duty in a previous life. And I was stationed on the border of France and Belgium, which some people had to go to Iraq. I got to go to France, you know? Some people picked the right straw, I guess. And I fell in love with this waffle. We would walk to the market every Sunday, and this little French guy named Bernard would be serving these waffles, and I just fell in love with it. So at the same time, I really got into Belgian beer over there. And I read this book called The Great Beers of Belgium, and in it there was this quote that said, a name Burgundian that's been used in Belgium for centuries. And the name Burgundian means someone who loves food and drink in both quality and quantity. And for me, that clicked. I said, that's me. That's who I am. This is amazing.
Say that one more time. Someone that loves food
and drink. That loves food and drink in both quality and quantity.
I think I qualify.
Right? You're a Burgundian.
I think I qualify for that.
Exactly, and I think a lot of us are. That's why our little hashtag is We Are Burgundians, because I think and as I talk to people, it's a social way to interact with food and drink and sharing it with people.
I love that.
And so it's very holistic in my opinion, and that's why I think deep down we're all Burgundians that want to sit and share and connect over food and drink.
I can't even argue. I don't have any statement to go against.
Right.
I think that's fantastic. But first and foremost, because I don't want to neglect this, thank you for your service, and thank you for telling us about that. And I'm glad that your service brought you to a point that was a happy point in France and then brought you back to do something like this and made you an entrepreneur seriously. So thank you very much for your service. So you came back. Mm-hmm. This just launched in June that you started this, and you've kind of been at pop-up events, that type of thing since June?
Exactly. So I got out of the Army. I worked as a product manager at Colette Travel for a couple years and contracted tours all over Latin America and France. But my calling, I've dreamed about entrepreneurship for a long time. And so in June, I with all the setup and everything, I was finally able to launch and start selling this product to the customer base. So I really started, the focus was to build the name, build the brand of a Burgundian, and just kind of describe what a Liège waffle is, because not many people have heard of it. So I really focused on pop-ups at coffee shops, Borealis Coffee, at different breweries in Southern Mass and Rhode Island, and starting to go to a lot of farmers markets like the Hope Artis Wintertime Market.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
So how many different types of waffles are you making now?
Well, in terms of pretty much everything is done off of the main Liège waffle base.
Okay.
I do practice with a few unique ones here and there, but usually everything is based on that, and I do a lot of sweet and savory options. So I will have a pork belly one with mole sauce, queso fresco, and fava nuts.
That's unique.
Or I'll do a chorizo plantain hash
Really?
with some cotija cheese and a little roasted poblano crema. On the sweet side, I do one called the Sweet Roti, which is a Dave's Coffee Milk infused mascarpone whipped cream, Borealis espresso, Borealis espresso, chocolate sauce, and Belici's Best biscotti, their cocoa nib biscotti crumble, and I call that like 4 companies in one bite.
Wow.
And so we do a lot of that. However, whenever we kind of do a unique pop-up, event like we're doing this coming up Monday, we'll create something like the waffle nut, or with Rebelle Bagel we've done the waffle, the bagel waffle. So it was a savory roasted scallion Liège waffle dipped in there everything seasoning and covered with chive schmear and bacon. Which was pretty amazing.
So you got some really good inspirational stuff going into all this. That's fantastic. So now you've created this. You started in June, so you've had 6 months, and all of a sudden you've got some great plans. And I did post up a picture from something that you sent me, which I thought was a fantastic picture. And you know, everyone that watches The Taste knows that I'm very big into entrepreneurship, and most of my guests, in one way or another, are entrepreneurs going into the things they've done. So what Shane is doing is definitely a step out there. And now in 6 months, you're already again. Tell us about what you're bringing into Providence next summer.
So this coming up summer, I am bringing in a double-decker bus from England. So when you picture that, you probably picture those big red and white London buses, and that's exactly what I'm bringing in.
That's awesome.
And when it comes in, it's going to be completely restored and converted into a mobile cafe. So you're going to have waffles and a full coffee bar on the bottom floor where you can order out a window like a food truck, or you can come inside. And then on the second floor, there are seats and tables, and it's like a mobile cafe, which will be parked in and around Greater Providence.
So I put up a picture that Shannon sent me, which I got a ton of feedback on. But so the bottom floor is a service.
Yep.
And then it literally, and you can sit on the top.
Yes, absolutely. There's the bottom floor is service, but you can also come in. There's a counter, and there will be a couple bar stools there on the first floor as well, where you can kind of wait for your coffee. And then upstairs, we'll seat about 28 people maximum.
28 people.
Yep. So we'll have tables all along one side, and the tables will have the original bus benches together around that table, and then on the opposite side there's going to be a long bar along the window with bar stools.
So not only from the focal point and bringing this in from England, but to actually make it functional to be able to do these two things, that's unbelievable. So you started this program to help you make this all happen.
Absolutely.
And you've got a short window from what you're telling me here to make it happen. So tell us about this Kickstarter that's going to help you do it, and what's happening for the Kickstarter, because that's to do this is no short endeavor. Kickstarters have become popular programs, but you've got a short window. So I want to hear how you're going to make this happen and what the Kickstarter means to you and to the guests that can support you.
Absolutely. So we have the bus, and I've gone over to England, and I've met with the people who are restoring it. They've been doing this for 40 years, so they are experts and hit a very good timeline. So this Kickstarter is to take this bus to the next phase and actually add a lot of the really cool intricacies of the cafe, basically taking the shell that I have and turning it into a cafe. So this Kickstarter that's coming up is going to be about restoring the tables, bringing in tables, and what's really cool is they actually have reclaimed wood that will be used for the tables that's older than our country, which to me is unbelievable.
That's insane.
And one of the cool things that we're actually doing for the Kickstarter is allowing people to sponsor a table. So if a business wants to sponsor a table, they can put their name on it for a certain price. So that's kind of a cool addition. But this Kickstarter starting this weekend and going through March 4th is about getting everything done inside. So it's a $30,000 request for 45 days. And how I've tried to look at it, attacking this is going and just really upping the collaborations that I do, which I do quite a bit already, and really just kind of saturate the market with fun events to kind of see what being a Burgundian is all about, and to see the potential for something as unique as a big red British double-decker bus cafe on the streets of Providence.
Well, now you're talking about unique, which is going to be amazing to see this, but you're also talking about historic. What you're putting in there in that wood, that's unbelievable to have that done. So hopefully you're going to have something that can kind of give the history of that wood to guests that are coming in there. So the Kickstarter is going to help you accomplish this, to put it out there. And you mentioned just now that there's a way, like if someone gives a certain amount, it helps them get the table. But one of the big questions that I was getting, because everyone was loving this picture when I put it up, was, will you be able to do private events? Now, going out and being at the farmers markets like you will is always a staple to your business model. But will the bus be able to travel where you can have it at a reception, a wedding event, a corporate event, that kind of thing?
Absolutely. So the bus, it's probably only going to be moving at about 45 miles an hour maximum. So it will be slow go, but it will be available. One of the parts of the business model for this bus is actually going to be able to do weddings. Two-sided on the wedding, either or, take people from the ceremony to the reception. So imagine a bridal party sitting on top of a double-decker bus riding from Y to Z, or and or serving waffles at the wedding. So if you want a Liège waffle dessert bar instead of cake and things, we can do a waffle cake. You know, that's going to be offered as well. And if anybody's interested in that, part of the Kickstarter campaign is actually being able to make a deposit into that wedding package as well. We're going to allow for certain Patriots tailgate parties if someone wants to rent the bus out. So you don't have to worry about driving. All you have to worry about is the tickets to the game, and then we'll take you up. We'll get the parking, provide beer and food, you know, whatever the package level is, and that's also on the Kickstarter.
That's an awesome idea. So the only other, I've never seen anything like this is from the restaurant standpoint. The only other thing I've seen from a transportation standpoint was with Rockstar, and they've got a one that's, you know, I think similar, that's come in from the UK, but it's from a transportation standpoint. So you're going to be unique in this field, I got to imagine, for the region, not just for Rhode Island. I haven't seen or heard of anything else that has the ability to serve out of it and eat at it to enjoy it. So this isn't something you're going to miss. So you see this thing coming down the street, you're going to know what's going on with it. So the Kickstarter program, how long is that lasting?
That's 45 days. So it starts this Friday, the 19th, at Ragged Island Brewery in Portsmouth. And
so
then
you've got a bunch of pop-up events that you're going to do.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So between the Pantry at Avenue N and PB Donuts with our donut waffle, we're doing a collaboration with Fountain and Company Craft Ice Cream at PB Donuts that same night.
Nice.
We're going to multiple breweries and different events with Rebel Bagel and Gastro's 401 Sausage Truck.
You were at Bayberry the other night.
And we were at Bayberry the other night. I mean,
Right.
we have a lot of partnerships, and which has been just incredible because there are so many other businesses that want to see something like this.
The camaraderie is amazing. For you to say all those places that are supporting you in this endeavor,
Absolutely.
Congratulations to them and congratulations to you, because that's no big.
Yeah, it's an honor to be able to work with so many and get support from so many great food businesses.
So my goal is going to be is that when Shane gets this launched, that we're able to do some type of live broadcast from the bus
100%.
when it comes out in the summer, so
Yep.
that we can be a part of this launch with you, because I think what you're doing is a phenomenal thing. So
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you for making the time to come in today and share it all with us, and thank you again for your service, what you did for us in the past. So
Thank you very much.
We're excited
Appreciate
and look
it.
forward to coming.
All right,
Thank
thanks,
you, my
Rick.
friend. All right, so that's pretty cool and obviously very exciting, and I did get a lot of you that responded to the picture I posted up on social media. Now you know, now you've got the details to look out for it. Help Shane